everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Starting Actor. I am Vinnie Horst, and on today's episode, we are talking about headshots. And today's episode is inspired by another fellow starting actor out there on the interwebs by the name of Chad. Chad, thank you for submitting your question to me. And Chad asks, "Hey Vinnie, first, thank you for putting out your amazing YouTube videos." You're welcome, Chad. "I'm literally brand new to acting, and I saw one of your Instagram posts asking what kind of headshots that you should get for different types of roles. Is it important for me to have headshots, for example, taken of me in my military uniform or pretending to be a teacher if those are the types of role I'd like to be cast for?" First of all, let me address this word pretending. It definitely caught my attention. Under no circumstances should you ever, as an actor, pretend. You should always just be. So if you're going to go take some headshots to be a teacher, then be a teacher. Don't pretend. All right. Now, with that out of the way, let's take a couple of steps back and talk about headshots themselves. What are they for? What are they? And how to go about them. So first of all, a headshot is a photograph that you have taken of yourself that you can use to advertise yourself to casting directors. Casting directors are the people that hire actors for particular roles in particular projects. So the first thing that you need to do for your headshot is to make sure that it looks like you. Because if you can imagine, a casting director is looking through headshots and they say, "Yeah, I think Vinnie, his headshot looks pretty cool. I'd like to have him come in and read for the part." Well, if I walk into the audition room and I don't look anything like my headshot, then the casting director probably is going to be disappointed or confused, or just it's not good. So I have a beard, so therefore my headshots should have a beard. Short hair, long hair. If I've gained 10 pounds, I should probably change up my headshots. So again, you just want to look like your headshots. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to consider your brand or your type. And what that refers to is how other people see you. Not necessarily how you see yourself in your own mind. I might see myself as a badass gangster, but if other people don't see me that way, then I'm going to have a hard time getting those roles. So to find out your type, you just simply ask your friends and your family, "Hey, if I was on TV and if I was acting in a television show, what do you think kind of roles I would play?" And you might hear answers like a cop or a badass gangster or a teacher, a doctor. Take your pick, right? And you'll hear a bunch of different answers, but you can boil it down. You kind of get a sense for people usually see you as X, Y, and Z. That's for you, Chad, being a Canadian and all. Gotcha. So once you know your brand or your type, then you can consider what type of headshots are you going for? Commercial headshots, theatrical headshots, or something else. And I'll explain what that means. And I'm only going to focus on commercial and theatrical because that's kind of my area of expertise. A commercial headshot refers to a photograph that you are going to use to try to get roles on television commercials. And so if you can imagine television commercials that you see on TV, there's always people that are wearing nice colors, bright colors, smiling. They have big wide smiles, nicely done hair. Not always, right? But just generally there's a certain look of people that are on commercials. So those types of headshots will look that way. When it comes to a theatrical headshot, what that refers to, at least on the West Coast in the United States, a theatrical refers to a film and TV production specifically. It might mean different things in other parts of the country, in other parts of the world, but that's what it means here when I say theatrical. So as you can imagine, on TV and film, there's many, many different roles that you can play. Again, cop, teacher, and so on. And stereotypically, badass gangsters, they look a certain way. You know, they're maybe dressed in dark colors. They maybe have a shaved head if I don't know, maybe you're a skinhead. There's certain things, there's certain stereotypes that follow. Now let's focus on theatrical specifically, okay? And I want you to take a look at the following two headshots that I took, that I had someone take for me in one of my more recent headshot sessions. And in this first one, you'll see that I look very confident, and I've got a look in my eye that says, "I know something that you don't." And in the second headshot, you see that I kind of look like, what's the best word for it? A serial killer. Yeah, that's right. And it wasn't intentional. It's just kind of how it worked out. the way that my eyes were at the moment the photographer took the photograph, I was a serial killer and I looked like it. So again, going back to that whole pretending thing, I'm not trying to pretend to be something, but I'm certainly giving an impression and an aura, which kind of speaks to another very important aspect. The most important part about a headshot is not what you're wearing or how your makeup is done, but is who you are and who you look like, the aura that you give, the personality that you're putting off, because that's what casting directors are actually going to cast. So you can dress the part, but don't overdo it, and don't worry about it so much. Another thing I'll say about that part is don't props. Just don't do props. Don't be smoking a cigarette. People don't care about that. Also, to inform you as to what a cop headshot looks like. If you're not sure, Google it, right? Our good friend Google. You can go online and search for something like actor headshots cop, actor headshots teacher, gangster. Take your pick of whatever role it is, and you can go out there and you'll see a lot of examples. Some of them will be good and some of them will be bad. But it'll give you at least a general impression of which direction to head when you're trying to portray a particular look and feel. Again, don't pretend, just be. Don't wear loud and crazy colors. Don't wear lines that will mess with the camera. You can research a lot of this stuff online, and I'll give you links in the show notes below to additional resources that will talk about some of these things. But you have to, solid colors are your best friend. Jewel tones, so that's reds and blues. So you can see I'm wearing blue today. I always wear blue on camera because it just goes well, and if you look at commercials, you'll see tons and tons of people wearing blue. There's a reason for that. So that's one. And the other thing is that spend the money. Don't take headshots for yourself or for your friend with a nice camera. Go to a professional studio who knows what they're doing. Make sure that they specialize in headshots. And there's a difference between acting headshots and headshots for school plays where people are doing this type of thing. That's a different deal. So acting headshot photographer, if you've got one in your neighborhood, that would be better. So the last thing I'm going to do for you is I'm going to hook you up with a bunch of links in the show notes below so that you can do some additional research on your own. I wanted to give you a head start with some of the information about headshots, so I hope I did that, and that is it. That is another episode of The Starting Actor. So if you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, then consider subscribing, and I will check you later.